Chapter 2 A Strange Pack. With all said and done, the Sharpteeth couple, Charity and Chance, traveled with the Fast Runner couple, Rodney and Trudy, venturing across the mysterious beyond. If anything, Chomper's parents were happy to see their son mingling with the young Fast Runner kids, making friends with them. In fact, over the course of time, the adults began to understand one another, able to read body language and gestures, which was how they communicated. Chance and Rodney ventured out for food, Rodney watching Chance hunt a slow and older crownhead. It was a real eye-opener, for Chance wasn't wicked or took pleasure in killing, simply doing what had to be done. It happened quickly, Chance lunging and chasing the crownhead, using one bite to end its life. With a meal for the Sharpteeth, Rodney gathered a nice collection of greens for his own family. Rodney glanced from the dead body in Chance's mouth, meeting the male's gaze. "How interesting. You didn't let the guys suffer." Chance gave a nod, gesturing for them to head back to their mates and young. Rodney spoke, and Chance made a few growls, sharing a semi-conversation. Back at the area they claimed, Charity stayed behind to protect Trudy and the young. Trudy stood by the fierce female, admiring how tough she was, having a few scars, a noticeable one along the side of her left leg. Trudy was hesitant, yet patted Charity's knee, receiving a small purr from her. The young Fast Runners enjoyed having another playmate, Ruby liking how he was close to her age, given the twins were only 3 years old. When they weren't watching the twins, Ruby and Chomper talked, lying in the grass and watching sky puffies flow by. Sometimes they wouldn't speak at all, Ruby humming and singing, while Chomper listened with a warm expression. Truth be told, he loved her voice, found it to be unlike anything he heard before, treasuring each and every moment they spent together. For he never knew if she'd wake up one day, flee from him, as several others had. It was yet another gorgeous day, the adults watching the 4 kids play, hide and seek, Chomper being it, and finding the twins easily, making them laugh. It was cute to see, the Sharpteeth talking while the young played. "It's good to see he has new friends. I was worried he'd never have that. After all, most Sharpteeth young find it odd when he mentions those leaf-eater friends of his. Even I must admit, the boy concerns me at times. I sometimes think he'd do better living in the Great Valley he talks about. Sounded like a nice safe place for young to grow up, without fear of Redclaw." Charity looked to her son with a tender gaze. "I want what's best for him, even if it means letting him go at some point. Is that not why we're heading to the valley, to do what must be done?" Chance spoke coolly, receiving a nod from her. Going not a great distance away, yet still somehow far enough from protection, Chomper and Ruby sat by a small creek, letting their feet dangle into the water. The twins splashed and laughed, chasing each other in the cool creek. Resting on the bank, Ruby found herself enjoying Chomper's company, especially since he was an extra set of eyes to help her watch the twins when Mother and Father were busy. Not to mention he was interesting to talk to, telling her of his leaf-eater friends and how he and his folks once lived on a lovely island. "So, tell me more about this island. To hear more about it would be interesting." "I don't remember how we found it, only that once we did, we stayed there till I got old enough to keep out of danger. Why, there was this one time I wanted to make friends with this swimmer who couldn't come on land. I think the fellow's name was Mo, but don't hold me to that. Anyway, you would have liked it more than myself. It was thick with plant food, all the greens you could imagine." "Sounds wonderful. If only I could see it for myself, gaze upon it with my own eyes." "Maybe one day you could." Chomper moved his hand closer to her larger one, gently letting his taloned fingers brush hers. "I would love to share such a place with you and your family. I wonder why we just don't go back there." Tapping his free hand to his chin, he wondered why they went in the direction of the valley, recalling where it was. "Another question." "Shoot, I'm willing to answer anything you want to know." "How good is your sniffer?" Ruby questioned, finding it amazing how he was able to pick up on scents without any trouble. "You can find my brothers, no matter where they're hiding. It's an amazing gift." "Not nearly as neat as how fast you can run, or how lovely your voice is when you sing. You sure are remarkable, Ruby. Really something." The kind comment made Ruby blush, turning her red face from him. "That's very sweet of you to say. Saying that was all too kind." Anyway, My nose is so keen, able to... Chomper suddenly leaned up with a concerned expression, taking a few whiffs. Oh no, something is off. We need to head back to our families, fast. Getting up, he picked one of the twins up. Ruby did the same with the second, her free hand taken and held by Chomper. Fleeing, Ruby glanced around with worry. Why are we running? What is it we're running from? It's him, Redclaw. Chomper was cut off, being tripped by a tail, tumbling head over heels. The twin he held was released and landed, running into Ruby's other arm, where he trembled with fear. Chomper! Ruby called, stopping short to find him struggling to stand. I'm coming! A set of fast spiders scrambled out from the brush, quickly surrounding the pair, screeching back and forth. Chomper, despite being small, stood his ground and came between them and Ruby, who held her siblings close. Arms out, he glanced from one to the other, knowing Redclaw wasn't too far behind the duo. Back off, Screech and Thud! Chomper roared, baring his teeth. If you're going to hurt anyone, let it be me, not them. Protecting food. You're a disgrace to all Sharpteeth and should be ashamed, Thud snorted, glaring Chomper down. Step aside or be removed, small biter. Tapping his dew claw, Screech took a step closer. We won't let you or your family steal our meal away from us again. Maybe if you took out the sick and old as my parents do. How dare you tell us how to hunt? Besides, it's the thrill, the chase, the adrenaline. Something you'll never understand. I won't let you hurt her. Bravely, he ran forward and threw himself into the pair, knocking them down. With the two focused on him, Chomper changed languages and looked to Ruby. Ruby! Take your brothers and flee! I can't leave you alone. Alone you should not be. I'll be fine, long enough for you to get my parents. Avoiding a bite, Chomper continued. Hurry! Go! Not knowing what else to do, Ruby took a few steps and saw a massive shadow loom over her. It was him, Redclaw, a feared Sharptooth who had a scar going down the left side of his face to his taloned hand. His large jaw chomped, Ruby ducking under him to release the twins. Go to Mother and Father. I have to help Chomper. She saw them nod, running away. With a quick breath, she went to try and stop Redclaw from going to Chomper, who managed to stay alive, moving from each nip the fast spiders made toward him. It was risky, but she grabbed Redclaw's tail, finding it was fruitless to hold him back, only to be lifted and swung about. The world spun. Reaching out, she managed to grab Chomper's hand. He was shocked, yet held onto her for dear life, looking to him directly. Behind him was a blur. Nice idea, Ruby! I got you! Ruby said, keeping a tight grip on him. Redclaw went to nip them, only to pause, not wanting to bite himself in the process. Great! How do I rid myself of these pests? Lower your tail, boss. We'll get 'em all for you. Screech and Thud were by his side, looking up to the pair, who hung on to their leader's tail. The young screamed when both fast spiders leapt up and down to try and nab them, Redclaw shaking his tail a few times. The vibration was great, yet Ruby didn't let go, knowing if she did, she and Chomper would be in real trouble. Tail brought to the ground, Screech jumped at them. Chomper swiped his clawed hand. It caught him across the face. Screech backed up to rub the sore area, hissing loudly from the pain. Thud was up next, going for them, and growling loudly. Quickly, Chomper bit Redclaw's tail, being lifted up for Thud to run right under them, crashing into a hedgerow, getting caught up in the brush. Nice one, Chomper. Very nice indeed, Ruby declared, only to find them being lifted close to Redclaw's open jaw. I take it back. Gah! Thinking fast, Chomper swung himself and landed on Redclaw's muzzle, digging his claws into the skin, forcing Redclaw to rise up and shake his head side to side. Little brat, I'll teach you a lesson. With that said, Redclaw went to slam his head into a tree. Detaching, Chomper fell to the earth, landing with a thud. Ruby was still hanging on to Redclaw's tail, watching and hoping Chomper's parents would show up soon, not knowing how much luck they had left. No sooner had she thought that, but a set of roars echoed, hearing footsteps head their way. Redclaw loomed over Chomper, mouth opened in mid-bite. Suddenly, Charity came from the side and slammed her head into Redclaw, who lost his balance and fell to his side. Chance stormed in fast, scaring off Screech and Thud with a few snaps of his great jaw, turning to face Redclaw while his wife got Chomper to safety. Ruby let go of Redclaw's tail, finding herself flying through the air, flailing her arms and crying out. Then she hit into someone who tried to catch her, only to fall backwards to the ground. Pushing herself up, she was face to face with Chomper, who tried to hold her in his arms. Though being smaller than herself, it clearly didn't go as he planned. "Chomper, thank you." "No problem. I'm here to help." "Hurry, kids, get up," Charity said. "Mommy!" Chomper nuzzled her, looking to Chance, who fought Redclaw. "Daddy, we need to help him." "Chomper, listen to me. You must take your new friend and go to the Great Valley. Do you know how to find it from here?" "Yes, Littlefoot told me how to get there. But why do I have to remember? Won't you come?" Chomper asked, feeling his eyes grow moist. "No matter the distance, we'll always be together. I love you, Chomper, more than you could ever know. I love you so much that we're letting you go to live in the valley, to be safe." "What? But why not go back to the island? We'd be safer there, be able to stay together." "The island is not safe either, for the land path comes and goes. Remember the guy who came on and couldn't figure out how to get off?" "I suppose, but—" "No buts, young male. With a Planeater by your side, they shouldn't be too leery of letting you into the Great Valley." She spoke to her son, looking to him with pleading eyes. "You must go. No time to waste. I'll help your father distract Redclaw and his goons while you flee." "Mommy!" Chomper said, seeing her dash in to attack Redclaw with a sweep of her tail. Unaware of what was said between them, Ruby spoke. "Hurry, Chomper! Let's go!" Taking his hand, she led him away from the battling Sharpteeth. The pair looked to Ruby, eyes pleading, fearful for their son. It was odd, but for a moment she heard them, understood what they wanted her to do. She called back, keeping a tight hold on Chomper's arm. "Don't worry, Chomper's parents. I vow to look after him. Swear on my life to keep him safe." "Mommy! Daddy!" Chomper's heart raced, ached in fear for his parents. There was nothing he could do, only seeing them fade behind the forest, while roars and growls shook the very woods. They were strong, no doubt, hopefully able to fend off Redclaw. When they arrived back to Ruby's parents, Rodney spoke. "Kids, hurry! This way!" The adults led the way, assuming once the Sharpteeth were finished, they'd catch up with them. After all, they were excellent trackers. They searched for a safe area to talk in depth of what to do next without their protectors, thinking it was odd the pair didn't show up once the night circle appeared. When it was clear they were separated for good, Trudy inquired aloud. "If only there was a place that was safe." "There is such a place, the Great Valley," Chomper said, looking to them. "It's where my mommy told me to go, where we'd be safe, without fear of Redclaw." "Why does he hate you so much?" Ruby asked, finding she still held his hand, offering him comfort, given he might not see his parents again for a long time. "Because I warned the Leaf Eaters he hunted? The Great Valley? I thought it was simply a wise tale, and nothing more." "Are you saying it's real?" Rodney pondered. "I know it's real, sir. I hatched there. It's where my friends live, the ones I tell Ruby of." "Perhaps Ruby should go with you," Trudy spoke, understanding the hard decision Chomper's parents made before they traveled together, one she and Rodney would have to make too. "If it's safe enough, I think that'd be the best option, that Ruby should join you in the Great Valley." The following day, which also happened to be Ruby's star day, they prepared to part ways. It was bittersweet, for it should have been a day of celebration, yet it was one of sorrow. Chomper saw Ruby joined her family in a creek, walking away to find some bugs to eat. Sniffing the earth, Chomper caught a scent on the wind, knowing who it belonged to, and rushed back to the Fast Runner family to warn them of the danger. "It's Redclaw!" Chomper yelled, knowing Redclaw would be upon them shortly. Ruby went to Chomper, her family fleeing themselves. For a moment she paused, wondering if she'd ever see them again. But a promise was a promise, one she'd not break. Taking Chomper's hand, they took off just in time, for Redclaw and his fast-biter friends came across the horizon. The roars were loud, booming and terrifying. Gasping, they ran away, the trio choosing to follow them over Ruby's family, which was good for the Fast Runners, but not for Ruby or Chomper.